welcome. Today I'm going to be making a cute little farmer's market carrot display, carrot stand. So these are the pieces that I have. I have this crate from Dollar Tree. This little tag thing came from Walmart. And then I had this napkin in my stash. It's super cute. I've been waiting for a chance to use it, just playing around with some ideas. And then of course I have some of these carrots that I got from Dollar Tree as well. So I'm gonna put it all together and we'll see how it turns out. So if you're watching live, be sure to say hi. Let me know where you're watching from, or if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to chat with you while I work. I'll try to remember to keep checking that. This is my first time live streaming on YouTube, so give me a little bit of grace here while I learn all the functions and things. I kind of got my iPad set up over here so I can help see comments better. And so yeah, we'll do this thing together, right? All right, let's just go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna put some of this to the side. The first thing that I wanna do is paint my pieces. So I've got a piece of wax paper here. I like to just work on top of this because you can just fold it up and throw it away. So, hi Amy, she says she's watching from Minnesota. Awesome, how's the weather over there for you guys? We are having a beautiful day here in Oklahoma. It's I think the high is 74 today. I was out this morning taking some pictures and it was just super nice. Very, not really the norm for this time of year. Okay, so what I have here, what I'm going to be painting with, this is some burnt umber acrylic paint by Folk Art. Whoops, and I'll show it to you. And things are backwards here. I really haven't figured out the setting on how to flip that camera around. I see some buttons there I could probably play with, but maybe another time. Amy says it's been beautiful in Minnesota. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today. And so anyways, I have this burnt umber acrylic paint and I added a little bit of water to water it down, mixed it up, and I'm just going to kind of brush it on. Let me get one of my wet wipes. And just kind of so it has like a stained look versus a thick coat of paint. And then I'll be doing some distressing to that as well. So if you have any questions during this, let me know. Even if you're watching the replay, feel free to ask. I am seeing those notifications and trying to respond to all of those comments as well. All right, let's just dive in and get started. Kind of been playing around with my consistency here. I don't know exactly what works well, but you can always add more paint on top, I figure, if it's a little bit too thin. So this also, another reason that I like to do this is because I feel like it gets, just get your coverage on really fast. Sometimes really the most tedious part about a craft is getting all your pieces prepped and getting everything painted. And let me turn this on real quick, sorry. Getting all your pieces prepped and painted can take a while, but this is pretty quick to get it just brushed on there versus actually painting it. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of wipe back some of the extra with my wipe here. And I am gonna go ahead and do the back of this one because it is, I think it's gonna be like a little shelf sitter, so I want the back to look nice as well, so I'm gonna go ahead. The way that this goes on, it's okay if it's not completely dry if you flip it over. I don't think it's really gonna, oh, my sticker's still there. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. Let me get my sticker off. I really love how you can just apply some heat to these things and they peel off really nicely. Where I couldn't get it off before, it just peels right off now. So that's an easy trick. All right, let's brush on some more. Okay, and you know, if you want it a little bit darker, you can always, you know, like I said, add some more paint. That would be fine. Some of these places will distress it anyway, so it's okay if it doesn't go on exactly the way that you want it. First, let's get our crate done. Make sure you get in all those little grooves and cracks. And I'll go ahead and just do all of my sides on this as well. These things can take a little while because you've got to do the outside, the inside, which I'm going to be stuffing it, so you don't have to worry as much on all of the inside, but you will be able to see some of the edges. While we're working, just let me know kind of what you're up to today. Do you have anything planned? Anything you're excited about doing? Anything you have to do even though you don't really want to do it? This morning I went out early. I knew about a bald eagle's nest that is near the lake where I live. So I went out to look for that and to take pictures, and I was able to find the eagle and get a picture. Super excited about that, and excited to get to my computer and kind of look at those images. It was a really fun find, and so fun to watch them. They're such beautiful, like majestic birds, but they had a nest there, and the male was kind of keeping guard in a tree nearby, and then I saw him first, and then I saw over on the nest, and I could just see the female's head peeking out of it. It was pretty neat. She didn't show herself for me, but she was busy. Got to get them babies ready. Let me know, are you still Easter crafting, spring crafting? What kind of crafts have you been kind of working on or looking towards right now? This stuff splatters a lot, so make sure you have your paper down. The water really makes it kind of splatter. Of course, I'm not being real careful either. I'm being a little quick about it. There's all the edges. I did the bottom. Catherine says an eagle is very exciting to watch. Yes, it is. I'm doing laundry and trying to tame down my puppy. I locked my puppies out of the room. I'm surprised they're not whining at the door, but sometimes they bark, so I gotta kick them out. Laundry's not super fun, but necessary, right? All right, I'm almost done with this. I just want to get some of this inside. I'm not going to worry about all of it because I am going to be filling it in, but I don't want those edges to show any of this natural color. Catherine, where are you watching from? Okay, I think that'll do for our base coat there. All right. That in some water. Sharon, hey Sharon. She's watching from Missouri. I think I've seen you over on my Facebook too, right? Do you follow me on Facebook? I recognize your name from somewhere. The This is my first time over here doing YouTube live, so I'll have to be watching for those who follow me in both places. But I just really wanted to give it a try over here today and see how things go. All right, it's a little bit damp. Let me give it a good dry real quick. Catherine says Chattanooga, Tennessee is where she's watching from. I don't think I've ever been to Tennessee. Amy says she's still working on spring crafts. Right now she's painting a wooden egg and 3 bunnies with some white chalk paint. Nice. I haven't been able to find any of the like super thick bunnies that I've seen everyone crafting with. My Dollar Tree hasn't had those. I haven't looked in a while. Maybe I should check again. Sometimes they're late putting stuff out. Catherine says, I watch you create beauty all over. Well, thank you, Catherine. I really love like everything beautiful, everything crafty. My photography that I've been doing just is so pretty in nature, and I just feel like that's my purpose in life, just to make things beautiful. I joke and tell my husband that all the time. I'm just fulfilling my purpose. I'm making things beautiful. So if he gives me a hard time about my crafting, I just tell him. Okay, let's do a little bit of distressing. Just scuff it up a little bit. Get your corners and edges. Just want to make it look old. We don't want it to look like this their first time at the farmer's market, right? You gotta make it look like you know what you're doing. Have you guys ever sold at farmer's market before? We've had a garden a few times and had a lot extra because my husband wanted to plant like 35 of each thing, and it was so much. I didn't know I could have so much zucchini and squash. So I did do the farmer's market and sell some of the extra, and of course give a lot of it away too. And it was pretty fun getting to just meet a bunch of people and everything. I kind of have to be out there pretty early. I didn't really like that part of it. I'm not sure. You could really, I guess, just do the front side. I haven't really picked a front side yet, though, so I'm just going to kind of do the whole thing. A little bit on that. Top edges. Still a little bit damp. I guess that water makes it take a little bit longer to dry. Okay, and so then I'm just going to do the same thing with my tag here, just kind of distress some of those corners. And I am going to be decoupaging my napkin on, so I'm just kind of thinking right now, debating on whether I want to paint this with a little bit of white. The napkin is really, it's orange. It's not going to be very see-through, so I think it's going to stand out pretty well, even if I don't paint it white. Also, just realizing I forgot to put my stuff on Do Not Disturb. So let me do that. Oh, now I gotta get my YouTube back open. Oh no, sorry. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Don't want to get any weird phone calls or something that kick me off. All right. Another good thing about this, now I can just kind of fold it up and get some of the sanding dust over in my little trash can. Okay. Now I want to do a little bit of distressing, so I'm going to use some of this distressing ink here. And if you don't have the distressing ink, you could use like a little black, either acrylic or chalk paint, to fade and shadow in those edges. I've done that before too, and I really like that as well. But today I want to use some of this chalk paint. Not chalk paint, distressing ink. So I'm just going to kind of rub it straight on to my board here. Of course, being heavy in those areas. And you never know, I may end up going and using some black as well, but for now, I just want to see kind of what this looks like. Just run it flat across, kind of darken it up a little bit. And I'm probably just going to do 3 sides because I will be gluing this on together here. So let me just get the sides that are going to show. I like that pretty well. You can see it just kind of darkened up, give it some shadow there on top of that stain. I really like how that looks, and I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Then I'm going to work on my tag as well. Get some of that dust off. Just kind of the same thing, getting on the corners and the edges. It just kind of really gives it a defined edge. You know, visually, it's nice to have that. Kind of makes stuff stand out. I can do a little more later also if I decide, but I think this is going to be good. Good for now. It's kind of hard to get down in this, so I might use my blending brush just to try to get some extra color in there. It's really just about creating layers that gives you, you know, some depth and dimension. Up here, I'm not sure how much that napkin is going to cover, so I want to make sure. Okay, and I think that'll be good. So here's our tag. You can see those edges, how I just darkened those up. It just makes it stand out really nice. Uh-oh, Sharon says the video is blurry for her. Are you getting blurry video? Amy says that she loved the bunnies. I did, doing the lunch bags. Yeah. That's what she's doing, looks like. Awesome. I'd love to see it when you get done. If you can share it with me. Okay, hopefully the video is not blurry for everyone. All right, so now let's see. I think I'm gonna go ahead and work on the decoupage part. So I have my napkin here. I've kind of looked at this before. I want to get it up as far as I can, of course, to where it still fits. Because whenever I put it onto my crate, I want it to show all of it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. First, let's get it apart. If you get your fingers a little sticky, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm gonna pull that apart, those layers, and check your different sides because some of them, sometimes they'll look a little better than the other. These all look pretty much the same though. But you do want to separate your plies and get down to only the printed part. You can see that it's still, looks like it's still got a little bit there, I think. Because really your goal with decoupage is you are wanting to have it really blend in. You want it to look almost like you painted it on there. That's the trick. So I'm going to get down to that very top layer. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do the water trick because I don't want it to have super straight lines. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush into some water here and just kind of go around those edges. Some of them I might be sanding off, but just in case. One thing about these though, it's kind of tricky. You don't really want to wait too long to go back because your water will run. But you can kind of use your fingernail to hold your space where you don't want it to go past. That way it doesn't get into your letters if it kind of spreads too far. Sharon, has the video cleared up any? Is it still blurry? Might have been a little easier if I had cut this one off specifically and then did the water, but that's okay. I'll still have 3 more that I can use for later. If you need one of these napkins, I do still have a few Easter napkin bundles in my Etsy shop. It's also under a Rustic Stitch, and you can find that in my bio or my About section. I have those linked, or if you want to ask me, I can just get you that link directly as well. Sharon said it's still blurry for her. I'm sorry about that. I hope it's not on my end. don't want it to be unwatchable. All right, so now I'm gonna have to decide here, do I wanna paint it? If you want it to show up like really bright, then you would want to paint it with some white chalk paint or white acrylic paint or something. But I really want mine to look pretty rustic. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like it is and let it have that little bit of a darker background. Yeah. Got a big drop there. Just trying to get some of this off. Okay. Let's let that kind of dry. I don't want to tear it. Trying to get away from them. All right. And the thing I love about just like rustic farmhouse stuff, it doesn't have to be perfect. So if something messes up, it's okay. You can always just work it in like it was supposed to be like that. Okay, let's see. We need some Mod Podge. I usually like to use these little brushes from Dollar Tree. They're pretty stiff. They do lose bristles in the glue sometimes. That can be a little frustrating, but overall, I think it's a good stiff way to spread that glue. And then you can kind of tap it as well to get it pressed down without tearing your napkin. If you're doing this, the wet method, you can do kind of the dry, the iron-on method, but today I think I'm just gonna apply it straight on there. Kind of see how much we need here. So spread it on, make sure you get it on those edges. Now, if you did the distressing ink, be warned that it does get activated by moisture, so if it's not completely dry, it will pick some of that up, and so you don't want to drag that ink across the front of your project. This one even has a bit of a green tint that I see that's coming through. So it probably just wasn't completely dry. Sometimes if you let it dry really well, then it's not gonna spread as much. Sometimes I want it to spread, but not always. All right, let's see if we can get this lined up. I like the printables on the rice paper because it gives you a little bit more forgiveness, but the napkin was cute too, so I'm gonna give it a try. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure that I get it up there as far as I can so that it shows once I glue it to my other piece. Kind of wipe off some of that glue so that it doesn't get that green from my distressing ink, and then I'm just going to start tapping it down. I don't mind if there's wrinkles. If you want yours to be perfectly smooth, then you might want to try the dry-on method where you let the glue dry, the iron-on method. You let the glue dry and then you can iron it on top. And that usually will smooth out a lot of the wrinkles. And I have had decoupage projects that just kind of seemed like they were starting to get really out of control with the bubbling up and stuff. And what I have found is if you spritz it with a little water and then dry it really well with your heat gun, it shrinks up that paper and pulls some of those wrinkles out. So if you ever are doing a project, a decoupage project, and that starts happening to you, don't freak out. I did the first time. I was like, it's ruined. But you can kind of dry those up if you spritz a little mist of water on there. Didn't really get that glued down very well, so I'm trying to make sure that I put some extra glue right there. Maybe when I cover it up, it'll glue it down. Okay, I think it's looking cute so far, and I think it's really gonna look like a good old sign. Very vintagey, I think. So anyways, here's what we have so far. I'm sorry that the words are backwards. I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out where the button is for that. It took me forever to find it on Facebook, and now here I am looking for it on YouTube. I really want to put a little bit of glue down right there. Let's do this. Let's put some on my brush. Perfect. All right. So let's see. I really want to let this dry well. Let's dry it a little bit before I move on because it looks a little fragile. It was a pretty thin napkin, and I just don't want to tear anything. So let's dry it for a second. All right, I think that's gonna be good. Now I'm gonna take my mini sander and just go around those edges. There's just a little bit hanging over. It's kind of a delicate thing to, you really don't want to rub it back and forth, but sometimes these smaller spaces, you just have to do what you can. It's usually best to move in one direction to get those edges cleaned up so it doesn't tear your napkin. Okay, so there we go. It's all dry. If you can see it, it's a little bit faded. Maybe I'll regret not adding the white. Who knows? We'll see. I think it's still going to be cute. So now what I want to do is take some more of that espresso ink and work around the edges to kind of blend them in a little bit. I think I'm going to actually do the Mod Podge first. That way it doesn't spread my ink so much. So let's put a little bit of Mod Podge on there. And I like to work from the middle outwards whenever I'm doing this, if possible. And just so everything kind of has the same sheen to it, see it's picking up a little bit of that green. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the rest of the project too. Kind of get that covered. That way also if you work towards the edges, it's not going to pull any of that ink back onto the top of your napkin. Catherine said she had to take a call. She missed so much. Oh no. Well, the good thing is it's always going to be there for replay. So you can kind of maybe back it up and see what you missed. All right. think I've got all of that on. This is going to be covered up because I'm going to glue it to my crate. So I'm not going to worry about that so much. Okay, let's try this. I do think my feathered edges are looking really nice on here. I think those are going to be easy to blend in. Sometimes if you get your glue too heavy, it does take it a little while to dry. Get it too hot. But those thicker spots, they will continue to dry and they will get clear even though they still look a little bit milky white right now. My words are looking pretty faded here, so I am fingers crossed that this thing is going to come out well. But you know what? If not, it's okay because I'll just paint on top of this with some white, and I have 3 more little pieces of napkin, and I'll just redo it if I have to. So no worries. Sometimes when you try stuff, it may or may not work out, but it's not the end of the world. You can always fix it. It's always fixable. So don't let things intimidate you and not give them a try. Okay. So let me go ahead and do a little bit of blending before I glue it on. Let's see. Let me see here what it's looking like. It's really hard to see. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I, you can see it better in the light. Should I keep going and just see how it turns out? Or should I kind of take a detour now and redo that part? Let me know what you think. Sometimes I like to just finish it out and see, just see what happens and then fix it. It's making me a little nervous. Catherine says, keep going. All right. We're going to keep going. So I'm going to glue this on here, and I want to glue it. It's not going to go all the way, well, it's not going to go all the way to the bottom because I want to still see that napkin pretty well, but mostly, almost to the bottom. So I want to just go ahead and glue that on. I'm going to put some hot glue right on just the front part of this tag, and then position it where I want it. Some globs of glue there. Then try to get it right in the middle. Let that dry for a minute before we move it. Where do you get your shading tool? My little blending brush. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It came in a pack. It's just like some really soft bristles. I also have some linked in my Amazon shop if you like to shop online. You can find them there too. All right. Doesn't look like it's squished out too much. It looks like it's mostly straight. So here's our little stand so far. What do you guys think? Hopefully that's gonna be okay. If not, I don't know. Most of the time when you see old stuff in the thrift shop, you can't hardly read it anyways, right? Put my glue up. All right, so there's that part. Now I have some little foam pieces that I'm gonna glue into this, into our little crate. Hopefully this is enough. I just don't want my moss to sink down too far. I have green moss and I have some brown moss. I'm thinking that I'm leaning towards the brown moss. Let me know what y'all think. The brown or the green. I think this project is going to end up darker, so I think the brown moss is going to look a lot better. But just kind of got that filler glued in there. And this stuff is super messy, you guys. It's almost as bad as glitter. All right, let's just kind of stuff it in here a little bit. Might be too much, but I think that's going to be good. All right, you can stuff it down the sides a little bit. So we're going to get this main part glued down. Get me a glue stick ready because I'm almost out. All right. Just kind of glue a handful of that down in there. If you didn't want to use as much, you could probably put a little bit more of that foam there. Does hairspray help keeping the moss together? I'm not really sure. I've never tried that before. It kind of comes out together if you just cut it, most of it. When I pull it, it seems like it makes it kind of spread apart more. Get some of this out of my way. All right. So here we go. Got a little moss in there. Now let's work on our carrots a little bit. So I want to do a little bit to them so they don't look so simple. First thing I want to do is see if I can get these green pieces out of here. So I'm going to use my heat tool and see if maybe they're just stuck in there with some glue. If not, then I can just cut them, but it'd be nice if I could like pull them out. No, I don't think that's gonna work. No bueno. So let's see. Let's just cut that off and I will glue around them. Work around them. Just going to kind of get it down as low as I can. Okay, then before I add the greenery, let's distress them just a little bit. I'm going to start with a lighter color because I'm not sure how dark it needs to be, but this color is Vintage Photo in this distress ink. And I get this at Hobby Lobby. I also have some linked in my Amazon shop. So you can find them maybe at other craft stores. I don't really have any other ones near me, so I haven't looked at those. Maybe if somebody knows, you can let us know in the comments, like maybe Michael's, or I don't know if Joann's would have something like that or not. But I'm just going to kind of rub this on here a little bit, make them look a little dirty. If you don't have distressing ink, you can use paint. It doesn't have to be the ink. I do like using this stuff. I think it's easy. And I do think this is going to be dark enough, so I'm not going to go with the darker stain or ink. I'm just going to use this. Whoops. All right, there's that. Now let's see, how are we going to get this greenery on here? Amy said she found one of the little brushes at the Dollar Tree. That's good to know. I'll have to look next time I go and see if they have them at mine. I haven't noticed them, but I wasn't specifically looking for them either. And I am not the most observant person sometimes. Okay. Just spread that out a little bit. Okay, let's see how we're going to get this greenery on here. I have this, I don't know if you can see this swag that I got from Hobby Lobby with some of this greenery. Kind of looks like carrot tops. So I'm going to be using that today. There was two different kinds. I got this one. It's kind of a little bit more dried and dirty looking. There was also this bush that was like bright green. It was nice too, but since this is a darker project, I'm going to go with a little bit more grungy looking ones. So I think I'm going to cut them into pieces so that I can kind of bunch them. Let's do one here and see how we're looking. Okay, I think that's going to be good, and then probably I'll camouflage it with a little bit of twine. I'm just kind of dripping some hot glue on my ends here, and then I'm going to stick them down into that. Yeah, so now our carrot's looking a little bit better, I think. We've got some of the brown, dirty shading and some of that grungy top, and so I think that's going to be really cute. This one did not have as good of a hole, but that's okay. We just can get it to stay. I'll wrap it. Whoa, I got glue strings going everywhere. Catherine said, how cute for the carrot. I know, I think they're cute too. I'm having trouble with this one, you guys. All right, I think I worked it out. It's got a little bit of a side lean, but that's okay. All right, one more. Let me see if there's a good hole. Maybe I can work on that first. All right, let's pull one more piece off. That little piece already off. Let's go with this one. This one's really tall. I know that these, this greenery at Hobby Lobby, it can be expensive, but if you go when it's on sale and if you can get a piece, it does last forever. I mean, I'm just pulling little tiny pieces off of this. If you're just making small crafts, then it will last you a long time. I've even sent some out in my swag boxes, and I still have a lot of it. Let that dry for a minute. Okay, so here we go. I have 3 cute little carrots. So what I'm going to do now is use some twine to kind of wrap around that stem and camouflage that a little bit. This one might still be wet enough before I can start it. Yeah. So I'm just wrapping it here, just camouflaging that a little bit. Add a little glue right here. Okay, just a little bit. Press that down. Now, I think that's pretty cute. What do you think? So I'm gonna do all 3 of them like that, and then we're gonna tie them together in a little bunch. Have you guys used any of these carrots this year for crafting or last year? This is my first year crafting, so all of the seasons are all new for me. I started back in August. I started crafting and then making videos shortly after that. So it's been fun, like getting to all of the new seasons. Once you get it going, it's not too bad. Just kind of get it wrapping around. All right. One more. Twine is definitely one of those products that I just like to have on hand all the time. I use it for so many different things. It comes in handy. Catherine said, everything comes out so perfect, like you've been doing it for years. I love your stuff. You give me hope. Well, yes, if I can do it, then anybody can do it. I am kind of a crafty person. I've always done little different things. Crochet, I crocheted for a while, and just some different kind of crafty things, I guess. But as far as this stuff and like home decor and things like that, it's very much a new thing for me. But I've learned a lot. There's a lot of wonderful crafters out there that share their content and are so willing to kind of help and teach. And so I love that. And of course, Pinterest is really nice too. Sometimes I'll just get on there and see something that I like and then kind of try to make it my way or put my own spin on it. Then sometimes I just sit down with all my crafting stuff and just kind of look at it and put things together and get little jolts of ideas. And then sometimes it'll be 4:30 in the morning and I'll wake up for a minute because the dog woke me up, and then I'll have an idea. And like I did the other morning about coming up is one of my subscription, my monthly Q&A thing for my subscription members. And so I've been debating on, not sure what I wanted to do. I had an idea, but just not sure. And I woke up at like 4:30 and it just popped in my head. It's like, this is what we're going to do. And it was such a great idea. And I'm so excited about it. So I can't wait to do that now. I haven't even shared with them yet what I'm doing. But I hope it turns out as good as it is in my head, because sometimes, you know, you get ideas in your head and you just don't know. Okay, so now I've got my 3 carrots. You want to kind of look and put your best sides up. And then I'm going to take some twine and just wrap it around a couple times and tie it in a little bow. Very simple. I don't really know how much I need, so I'm just going to cut some. I'm just going to set it down in the middle there. I think I will just tie the bow on the side, and then that way it'll show. I think that'll be cute. Did I leave enough room to wrap it around one more time? We can do a knot. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bow. We'll do a little knot like that. All right, now we have a little cute bunch of carrots. What do you guys think? So we're gonna put them in just like this, I think. To the side, right to the, I think just right to the front right there. So let's just drizzle some glue on here, get them glued down. Perfect. Here we go so far. And if you want, I mean, you can leave it just like this. I'm going to do a few more things though, of course. I think we're gonna make a little tag in the front, a little farmer's market tag, and then add a little string to the top. So what I had in mind, since it is kind of a darker craft, I have this material here. I think I'm gonna cut a little background piece and use this for the tie as well. So let's go ahead and tear a piece for the tie. That'll be quick and easy. I'll do a good piece. So I think I'll just run that straight through there. Just kind of tie a little loop knot. Sorry if you can't see. Tie a little loop knot right there. Maybe fray these edges really good. Might end up cutting them a little bit, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, and then we have a little tag there. Just kind of hang it to the side. I think that'll kind of work. We'll see. I may shorten that up. Might need to be a little shorter. What do you think? Should I shorten it up a little bit? Would that look better? Kind of to the... So I have this little craft tag here, and I'm just going to stamp the word Farmer's Market on here, hopefully. I don't know. I'm going to be tearing the edges, so I think this is going to be okay. If not, I may have to cut a bigger piece, but I think that's going to be fine. All right, let's see if I can stamp this on straight. This is something I've really been practicing a lot, working on. It's not always perfect, but I just say it gives it character. If it's a little wonky, then it just is a little bit wonky. Where are you going? Fishing. My son says he's going fishing. Be looking if there's anything neat that I need to take pictures of. You tell me. Got my scouts out there. I don't know if you guys saw my turkey pictures on my photography page, but I was super excited to get those. That was fun. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp Farmer's Market on here, kind of towards the middle of the tag. Hopefully I have enough room. We'll see. I'm just using some black Stays On ink. Got it at Hobby Lobby. And these are some stamps that I got at Dollar General. They're really small and super cute little font. If you can't find them at your Dollar General, I do have a few extra sets in my Etsy shop. I know that it's hard to find stuff at different ones, so if I'm using something, I always hate when someone says that they can't find it. So I pick up a couple extra and try to offer them if I can. All right, Farmers came out okay. Let's get Market going. It's definitely impossible to get these things straight, so if you don't let that intimidate you if they're not straight. I think everyone has been pretty forgiving, and I usually think that it's just pretty whimsical and cute whenever it's crooked, so definitely practice on something. If it's your first time or so, don't do it on your craft first. Like practice on paper, kind of getting things lined up and straight. I like to kind of just put stuff out and then tear it the size that I need it versus trying to fit it on a pre-cut or pre-sized piece of something. But there's definitely tricks if you need to do that. So there we go, farmer's market. Sorry, it's backwards. That's gonna drive me crazy. But I think it turned out pretty cute. Whew. Let me leave this ink open because now I want to tear it and crumple it up and distress it a little bit. Catherine says she's only been crafting since fall and she got her ideas from my inspiration. Oh, I love that. I'm so happy. And she wants to make what I'm making now. Hopefully you can find all the pieces. I've had this on my shelf probably since like the beginning of February to make. I'm finally getting around to it. I just couldn't situate it. Sometimes I have an idea, but I can't quite like finalize it in my head exactly how I want. So I'll just let it sit and marinate for a little while until I see something or I just kind of, something pops in that I like. All right, so I tore the edges a little bit. So they're, I don't know if you can see, they're frayed a little. I'm just gonna crumple it up. And then kind of go around the edges with my ink. I think it's going to be cute. I'm still on the fence about this whole carrot thing, the napkin part. I don't know. I lost a lot of my white letters, but also I like that it looks old and kind of like just really worn out. So I may sit with it for a little while. Just kind of use my blending brush to hit some of those top little crumpled areas. I want to make sure that you can still read my little sign, so I don't want to put too much ink on there, but I just kind of smear it a little, blend it a little. Okay, I like it. I like it. And now I'm going to center it on my little piece of fabric here. I think that it's going to turn out really cute. Make sure I get those edges frayed. Okay. So now what I want to do is glue this on the front, right in the center here. I hate these like stand-up crafts because it's always hard for you guys, I know, to see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm going to center it here and then I'm going to glue this right on top. And normally whenever I glue fabric, I like to use some tacky glue or something because the hot glue really shows through the fabric, but since I am putting this on top, I think that it'll be okay if I just hit it with a little bit of hot glue. I don't know. I'm thinking. I do want to make sure I get closer to those edges. So let's just go ahead and do the tacky glue just in case. I don't want to regret it later. I don't think it matters which side. This is one of those lovely fabrics that's the same on both sides. Those are my favorite kind. But I'm just gonna put some around the edges. This is just some tacky glue. If you have, maybe fabric glue would work too. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna take a lot to hold it down. I'm just going to kind of smear it with my fingers. It's very sticky. This won't roll up on me. I don't want it to do that. Okay. All right, and then I'm just going to get it right in the center here. Pretty close anyways. Ah. I don't want to glue that all the way to the edges. I mean, I want it to be a little frayed still, sticking up, a little bit wonky. There. Get a wipe on my fingers. And then I can just glue my tag right on. Cute, cute. I like it. Cut that little string off. All right, so there we go. I don't know, what did we decide about this little tie thing, you guys? Here's what we have so far. I think it's super cute. I don't know if I should leave this or make it a little bit shorter. Let's make it a little bit shorter. I think I keep thinking that, so it must mean that I need to do it. Let's go down a little closer. All right, cut some of this top off. All right, yeah, I think that's better. All right, here we go. What do you guys think? Super cute. What do you think about the carrot sign in the back? I'm not sure. We'll see. I'll take some pictures of it and then I'll decide. You never know. I might just completely redo that part. We'll see. But, okay. Well, I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching today. The ones who hung out and chatted with me. And if you're watching the replay, say hi. But that's all for now. So be looking. I'll post more about it later. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Okay? Bye.